Good morning, students. I am Ms. Flavia Dabri and welcome to our history class. In our today's history class, we will be studying a very interesting topic. But before I begin with the topic, I would like to ask you all certain question based upon your previous lecture. So tell me, who was the founder of Shishunag dynasty?
Shishunag was the founder of Shishunaga dynasty.
Very good. And who was the last son of Kalasoka?
Mahanandin was the last son.
Correct. And who killed Mahanandin?
Mahapadmananda.
Very good. So Mahapadmananda killed Mahanandin, and in that manner, the Shishunag dynasty came to an end. Now that you all already know how the Shishunag dynasty came to an end, in today's class, we will be studying about the Nanda dynasty, which was formed by Mahapadmananda in our chapter titled The Magadhan Kingdom. All right. So look at this image on the slide and tell me, what was the status of Shudra in the Varna system?
They were at the last level. They were the lowest class. They were also considered untouchable.
Yes. So Shudras, so the society was, divided into different stratas. And the stratification of society, we see that there's a pyramid. And in the pyramid, Shudras are given the lowest of position in the pyramid. That means they were considered as untouchables and they were not valued or respected in the society with respect in relation to the other varnas, that was from Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Shudras were treated very, very poorly. So, students, I'll tell you all one such story of a king who was not a Kshatriya but a Shudra. Why did I say that? Because all the kings and rulers during the ancient time belonged to the Kshatriya clan. But this ruler, the story of this ruler, which I'll be telling you all, was not belonging to the Kshatriya origin, but he belonged to the Shudra origin. And how he became a ruler, let's quickly explore. In the kingdom of Magdha, a boy named Mahapadmananda was born around 343 to 321 BCE. It is said that Mahapadmananda's father was King Mahanandin and his mother was a Shudra woman. Therefore, Mahapadmananda was the illegitimate son of King Mahanandin. Why did I say it illegitimate? That means Mahapadmananda was born out of wedlock. That means his mother and his father were unmarried, but he still was born. As Mahapadmananda grew up, he wanted to become the king of Magda just like his father and wished to have all the powers in his hand. This greed overpowered him so much that he ended up killing his own father Mahanandin. Thus, with the death of King Mahanandin, the Shishunag dynasty came to an end, and this end led to the beginning of the Nanda dynasty, which came into existence because of Mahananda, who was now the king of Magadha. All right. In this manner, Mahapadmananda killed his father and came over the throne. It is also said that the Nanda dynasty was not just one of the most powerful dynasties of Magadha, but also it was the first dynasty that didn't belong to the Kshatriya origin. That means this king did not belong to the Kshatriya origin, but he belonged to the Shudra origin. Even being a Shudra, he became a king because of greed, because of lust for power. He killed his father and came on the throne. So students, do you all know what made it so powerful? Let's have a look. But before that, tell me, what does Chakravartin mean?
Chakravartin means ideal universal ruler or a world ruler.
Correct. So, Chakravartin means the person who tags himself as a universal ruler, the great ruler. Who was one of the great rulers in our history? King Ashoka. So, Mahapadmananda also announced himself as the great ruler, And let us see why he called himself so powerful. There were certain things that he did that made him so powerful. So it is also mentioned that Mahapadmananda, during his reign as a ruler, fought many ruthless battles and killed a lot of Kshatriyas. Thus, Mahapadmananda is described as the destroyer of all Kshatriyas. He defeated the Panchalas, Kasis, Hayas, Kalingas, Asmakas, Kururs, Maithalis, Sursenas, and to name a few. So these were different Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas were who? They were the kings, right? So he defeated all these Kshatriyas as a ruler. He extended the kingdom of Magda. That means, see how the way he fought the battles, you can see, right, in the image. So now in the map, we can see the green color area covered. That was Magda. Initially, Magda was only a small space. But then when Mahapadmananda came on the throne, he extended the frontiers. He captured so many places by killing all the Kshatriyas, right? All the rulers or the kings. So he killed them and he took over their kingdom. He extended the kingdom of Magda by capturing some parts of Orissa, central India, the whole of Gangetic Plains, as well as south in the Deccan Plateau. His success in capturing so many areas, as well as expansion of his kingdom to such an extent, made him assume the title as Chakravartin that I told you also. He called himself as Chakravartin. All right. So now he captured so many areas, and now under his rule also the agrarian economy flourished. What is agrarian economy? Agrarian economy means agriculture in that area, flourished under the reign of Mahapadmananda. Then so many canals were built, irrigation projects were there. He made use of various techniques, in order to flourish the agriculture produce of that region. In this way, a lot of produce was also produced. That produce, in a sense, what I'm saying, food crops, many cash crops, all these was produced during his reign. That means the kingdom also became rich. That means the farmers were, functioning well in their occupation. So he flourished the agrarian economy during his period of time flourished. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So he was a great ruler. He killed Kshatriyas. Great ruler in a sense, economically flourished person. But his ways of attaining or capturing the kingdom was not correct. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And why do you agree with that?
He
Because he,
killed people.
yes,
He
yes,
killed
see,
his father.
correct. He killed his own father. And Mahapadmananda, passed away at the age of 88 years. And he was then succeeded by his son, Dhanananda. Now, listening to this name itself, you can understand Dhan. Dhan means wealth, property, Dhanananda. That means this person was titled as Dhanananda because he was very much, into money, and money used to make him very happy. Dhan Anand. Dhan ka Anand means Dhananand. So Dhanananda was his son who succeeded the throne after Mahapadmananda. Both these Nandas were so powerful that they built a huge, strong, and vast army. So Dhanananda, first talking about Dhanananda, Dhanananda was very much fond of money and he could do anything for this. So he looted the people of his kingdom. He did not, he charged them extra taxes to pay. And those workers who were not able to, work, they were asked to compensate those days on leaves. That means if you are in a week, you're going to work for certain days, and that one day that is left for rest, also that day you had to come and compensate that much rude he was, and that much the way he looted his people of his kingdom. So see, you can look at the laborers, how they were asked to toil, and how labor work and hard work they used to do, and he used to collect taxes as well. So taxes were collected in two kinds, cash as well as kind. That means if you're not able to pay the cash, you had to pay the tax in the forms of food grains. So this image here is the image of an historian named Platash. So Platash was a historian during the time of Mahapadmananda era, during the Nanda dynasty, and he had said that the Nanda army was even larger, numbering 200,000 infantry, 80,000 cavalry, 8,000 war chariots, and 6,000 war elephants. So we can see that. See how many war chariots and elephants were used. So students, can you tell me why were elephants used in war?
The war elephants' main use was to charge the enemy, break their ranks, and instill terror and fear, crushing all who got in the way.
Correct. And as you said, war elephants were used in war. The size of an elephant is huge and gigantic, and it also scares the enemies, because huge elephants, that means they have this power, intimidating quality, that they would the quality of scaring the other animals or the other soldiers present on the war ground. So animals had this power, that means physical capacities to crush the enemies. That's why elephants were used in war. And do you all know how were elephants captured for war?
They were captured using metal chains and a specialized hook, and also trapping them in pits.
Correct. So elephants were used during that period of time, and we can see, oh, how great elephants were used. The king was so powerful. But we have to also sing how the kings were cruel. They did not have they had this sympathy towards elephants were used only for their selfish needs, that means to win in the war. But the way the elephants were captured, their huge the trunk and the tooth was always harmed during the capturing process, and they were put in a pit. I mean, the elephants, the capturing was not at all what we would say civil. It was very inhuman process that was used during that point in time. So tracing back to the state of elephants today, we can see that animals, or wild animals or elephants, have become scarce. We can see they are being kept in the zoo, and hardly we can see them, right? So the species is also declining. Why? Because of all the urbanization that is taking place. Human beings like us are stealing the houses of the animals. That means the jungles and the forests are being chopped down and cut down. So it's very essential to keep this in mind, that we should be always mindful about what we do, and we should not cause harm to others just for our own selfish needs. All right. So apart from infantry, cavalry, elephants, war elephants, there were coins that were produced during that point in time. All right. Now look at this image of the coin, and can you describe the coin of can you describe this coin used during the Nanda dynasty?
These are punch mark coins.
And why do you say that it's a punch mark coin? Looking at the coins, why do you say that?
It's like a stamp that's punched on it.
Correct. So looking at the coin, we can see that there are inscriptions on it. There are stamps on it. And the coin has gone through a process wherein something is banged really hard on the coin in order to give them those shapes. You can see the inscription of an elephant on it. There's a sun at one corner. So in this manner, the coins, I mean, metal sheets were kept, and a huge iron thing was punched on it, all right, to give it a shape. So these were called as punch mark coins. So punch mark coins were first time, introduced during the Nanda dynasty. And that we saw that both these rulers, first ruler that was Mahapadmananda was so greedy, and that he killed his own father and came on the throne. And his own son, when he came on the throne, was not, did not work for the benefit of people. However, he only worked for his selfish means. And one point day, this legend in front of us is Chanakya. And Chanakya had gone to his court to tell him that Alexander was about to invade India, and that you have to be very very cautious about it. But Dhanananda was very very proud about himself. He said to Chanakya by holding his hair, you can see the hair, right? It's called Shikha in Hindi. So Dhanananda held Chanakya by his hair and pulled him and threw him out of the court and told him that you have no right to teach me and tell me what it is. And on that day itself, Chanakya claimed that no matter what, but I will bring an end to this dynasty, that is the end of Nanda dynasty. And with that, when Alexander invaded India, he literally overthrew this Nanda dynasty, and Nanda dynasty came to an end. And then there began another dynasty. All right. But we will study about the other dynasty in our next class. Now that we looked upon how Nanda dynasty was formed and who all were the rulers, now let me check how much you all have understood from this particular topic. Who was the founder of the Nanda dynasty?
Ma'am, the quiz is not visible.
The quiz is not visible. All right, I just tried to. All right. Now is it visible? Is it visible?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Let's begin. Who was the founder of the Nanda dynasty? Can you be a little louder?
Mahapadmananda.
Okay. That's the correct answer. Who was the last ruler of Nanda dynasty?
Dhanananda.
Okay. That's absolutely correct. What does Chakravartin mean?
Universal ruler.
Okay. Absolutely correct. What kind of currency was used during the Nanda dynasty?
Punch marked coins.
Correct. 4 out of 4. That was a great initiative, and you really paid attention to my lecture, I think. That's why you were able to give such good answers. So, in our today's class, we saw how Nanda dynasty came to an end and what led to its downfall. In the next class, we shall learn about Alexander's invasion in detail. So, thank you so much. Let's meet up in the next class.
Thank you.